Now at 6, residents in Pineville stay up all night to raise money for American Cancer Society. Plus, residents in Joplin celebrate Juneteenth a little bit early. We'll take a look at all the festivals and
a series of charity softball games aims to help make needed repairs to fields in Baxter Springs. I'm Samantha Walker, and I'll have that story coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Many times people find themselves pulling all-nighters, and not because they want to. But Pineville residents pulled an all-nighter to take the fight to cancer with a relay for life. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Anthony Saviello. The overnight event included a silent auction, live music, raffles, and a lot more. All funds from the event went to the American Cancer Society. Organizers say those funds will then be allocated to those in need.
It pays for housing, so if your child needs to go and have radiation and you are 3 or 4 hours away from the facility, it pays for your housing to stay at there, and it also pays for the gasoline. So they have a shuttle that takes you from the hospital back to your facility or your house for the time being, back to the hospital and back and forth for the extended time of your treatment.
This is the first Relay for Life event held in Pineville in 20 years. Well, it's not getting any cooler outside. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney.
Well, it's not getting cooler over the next couple of days. We are in the middle of a heat wave. It's going to peak on Monday. So temperatures today got up to about 92. We are starting to cool down for the evening, though, down to about 90. Light winds about 10-15 miles per hour, but it feels a little bit warmer than that. Those humidity values are going to keep us feeling even warmer than the actual temperatures. So actual temperatures across the region: 91 out in Joplin and Miami, 90 Sedan, Independence, 92 in Veneta. So overall, within the same few degrees, not too bad, but we are going to continue to warm up as we've got a boundary moving in, bringing in some hot and humid air mass right behind it. Now, as these storms do push in, they are going to start to shift north. We likely won't see much going on, but we're going to keep an eye on it, and I'll have more details in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. People in Baxter Springs are hitting the ball fields to play for a good cause. KOAM Samantha Walker has more on how each swing of a bat is helping keep the community fields open.
As the hot sun beats down on the 19th Street ball fields in Baxter Springs, players of all ages step up to bat, ready to support a good cause.
We have local teams, local kids teams that practice out here, and without that they wouldn't have anywhere else to practice. It's just good to keep them going. It's good for the community.
Field manager Michael Schutz is organizing a series of charity softball games, raising money to help upgrade and maintain the fields. One goal they have is to replace the lighting, which they say will allow the fields to better serve the community.
We're hoping to reach $1,500. That'll replace all the fuses on the lights and get them going, so we can tell what we need to do from there to get them working.
Chase Price is one of the players to take to the field in support of the fundraiser. He says these fields are special to him because it's where he first got his start in softball.
We need lights to stay on. We need the fields to be worked. So we come together here and kind of do it together. Mike runs the show, but we all kind of come together and just help out. So the more we have coming out here to help, the better it is.
For those who are taking the field in these softball games, they say win or lose, they know they're helping a good cause.
Seeing the community out here, it means a lot. You got a lot of things that the community don't come out for, so seeing them come out for this, it's awesome.
Reporting in Baxter Springs, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Organizers are planning to hold another charity softball tournament in July. All proceeds will continue to go to field upgrades. June 19th marks the Juneteenth holiday, but Joplin residents decided to celebrate a little bit early. The celebration today included a 5K run, art classes, live bands, and a kids zone, and so much more. The event took place at the future site of Hope Park.
I want the community to know that the whole gist of this is for Hope Park. and Hope Park is the location that we are in now, and that is the future of we're having fundraisers and stuff to get that going. So all that we're doing, all the funds we collect, everything is going towards getting that park up and running.
Juneteenth marks the freeing of the last slaves in the United States. An estimated 5 million older Americans experience elder abuse, neglect, or exploitation. That is 1 in 10 older Americans. Today is World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, a way of calling attention to the widespread problem that Joe Hickman has looked into.
It was in May of 2022 that Taney County resident Ann Schilling was sentenced to 10 years in prison for the elderly abuse of her husband. Schilling and her son were accused of using the $1,500 a month her husband received in Social Security benefits to purchase drugs, while leaving him to live in squalor, crawling on floors covered in feces and cockroaches with no bathing and inadequate food to control his diabetes. That situation represents 3 of the 4 types of elderly abuse that can occur. There's the physical, mental, or sexual abuse that can have physical or emotional signs. Neglect is when a primary caregiver fails to provide adequate assistance that the individual depends on, such as food, clothing, shelter, or medical care. Self-neglect is when an individual fails to meet their own essential needs that threatens their health, safety, and well-being. And exploitation is when someone takes advantage of the individual for personal benefit by either financial or legal means.
In Missouri, during fiscal year 2023, our department received and investigated over 43,000 reports of abuse, neglect, and exploitation. So that's an average of 120 reports every day. The National Center of Elder Abuse estimates for every case reported to the authorities, as many as 23 cases go unreported.
Saturday is World Elder Abuse Awareness Day to draw attention to the cause, and you might notice purple pinwheels at various locations as a symbol of support. And there's a hotline and website you can go to in order to report suspected abuse and neglect.
Individuals can sometimes be reluctant to report, and that's understandable, but their information and their identity does remain anonymous.
In conjunction with World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, the IRS is emphasizing scams that target senior citizens.
If you have older relatives, keep an ear out for when the phone rings and how they react and how they're having, what kind of conversation they're having with somebody.
Things to watch out for include people who impersonate government agencies like the IRS, Social Security, and Medicare to get information. Scammers also frequently make claims of problems or prizes, claiming you owe money or promising that you've won something. They pressure you for immediate action, creating a sense of urgency and making threats. And they specify payment methods that are hard to trace, including cryptocurrency, wire transfers, payment apps, or gift cards.
The IRS will never contact anybody, including seniors, via the telephone initially on any kind of an issue. Folks can be very gullible and trusting. So there are people who count on that human conditioning to do some terrible things to folks.
Coming up, how Bass Pro Shops is encouraging kids to get outdoors. Plus, an 8-year-old in Oklahoma becomes the subject of a medical breakthrough. Bass Pro Shops is encouraging the next generation to get outside this summer and enjoy the wonders of nature. Kids gathered at the flagship store in Springfield yesterday for the Gone Fishing event, where Bass Pro Shops donated 350 rods and reels to the Kids Are Special 2 Foundation. They didn't have to go far to cast the line. Kids at the event could fish in a pond right outside.
Johnny Morris, a long time ago, came up with the let's have the next generation, let's get them out hunting and fishing. So through this, we're allowing kids that may not have the opportunity to go fishing to get out and go fishing. We do kids fishing events like this at the store because a lot of kids just don't have that opportunity. They're able to come here and catch their very first fish, which is super exciting.
Bass Pro Shops is continuing the movement nationwide by donating more than 50,000 rods and reels across the country to help connect the next generation with the outdoors. An 8-year-old girl in Oklahoma has been the subject of a breakthrough for a neurological condition. Brianna Nally has more.
A medical breakthrough in Oklahoma. 8-year-old Carly Fry is now the first child to receive a robotic deep brain stimulation. The procedure implants electrodes into the patient's brain and treats movement disorders like Parkinson's disease. Robots make the procedure much safer because of the required precision.
If you think about it, robots don't have a tremor, and you tell a robot exactly what to do, it will do it to the sub-millimeter.
Carly was an average little girl meeting all of her milestones up until age 4.
And then she got an ear infection that triggered a fever that triggered her disease.
She was diagnosed with rapid onset dystonia, initially paralyzed. Carly made slow progress on medications, but this surgery was a game changer. Using a tablet, Carly's family can now tune the electrodes in her brain, helping this little girl regain control over her body.
We can turn it up or we can turn it down as needed. If we feel like she's been extra tight, we can adjust it to however we need to move things around.
Carly went from not always being able to sit up or feed herself to walking out of the hospital after the procedure, even using her own voice occasionally.
She's adapted so well. I think she's going to have a great future for sure.
A little later, residents show up in force for the annual Pittsburgh Kite Festival.
And temperatures do continue to warm up through the weekend. I'll have more details right after the break. It was another really hot day. Unfortunately, that's going to continue through Monday as this heat wave settles in. But let's go ahead and take a look outside at downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. It's a little bit breezy out there. We see wind gusts up to 15, 20 miles per hour. Not too bad, and it might keep us a little bit cooler, but these temperatures are continuing to climb into the low to mid 90s. So we are at 91, 92 today for our high with a low of about 75, which is definitely above average for this time of year. It's our first heat wave of the summer, and unfortunately it's not stopping there. This line of storms is boundary bringing in some more hot and humid air into the environment, which is going to continue through Monday. So Monday is going to be our hottest day. Then we'll start to cool off for the week. Fortunately, we get warm again next weekend. Luckily, none of these storms are really going to affect our area. Some of our western counties, Greenwood, Elk, Chautauqua, maybe even Woodson, Wilson, may see some rain tonight, but our environment's really not primed for any type of storms to be moving into the environment. It's very stable, so you can already see these storms starting to die off before they even move into the area. Now, the top of this boundary, they're getting tornadoes. They are dealing with that severe weather north of Omaha. And you can also see a collection of some storms south of Hayes that are moving into the Wichita area. We'll keep an eye on those storms. They'll be coming in the overnight hours. So that's what we're really going to be looking for. But like I said, our environment's fairly stable, so we may not even see anything. But the next couple days, we are going to continue to get warmer. So we've got moderate to major risk for heat. That major risk is off to the western counties, but it's going to continue to climb into Sunday. We've got that major risk kind of more widespread eastern and western counties, but by Monday you can even see that extreme risk starting to creep into the eastern counties. So we'll keep an eye on it. Temperatures are going to continue to warm up for the next couple of days. Now, we've got some storms that may cool us off, or it just may add to that humidity in the atmosphere. This is what we're really looking at, that secondary boundary moving in over night hours, about 4:30 a.m., creeping into those western counties, but still our environment's fairly stable. So it is going to start to dissipate as it moves into those northwestern counties, and then it'll shift north and out of our area. Sunday looking pretty warm again, 5 p.m. getting up to about 93, 94, but we do have some wind gusts that may keep us cooler throughout the day on Sunday. So we're getting up to about 25, 30 miles per hour in the morning. Starts to slow down a little bit, but still about 20, 25 miles per hour wind gusts through Sunday. That's still not going to keep us as cool as we'd want, because that heat wave is going to continue through Monday. 94 for our high, but with these humidity values that are going to stay above 40%, drives those heat index values into the upper 90s and even triple digits by Monday.
Really?
Unfortunately. But, right after that, we'll cool off for a good couple of days. And by cool off, I mean upper 80s.
So, yeah.
So,
no.
You know.
You're not giving me good news right now.
Do with that what you will.
Thanks, Lindsay. No, you're fine. Some Southwest Missouri area organizations all gathered at Wildcat Park to teach kids and parents about water safety. Kids will learn a variety of things like boat safety and some safety around the water. Every kid received a free life jacket.
That water safety is important at all ages, and so the earlier that we start water safety, the better that people will understand it as they get older. So it's just a great thing for kids to learn.
Over 50 area kids attended the event. Still ahead, there is a new Bulldog in town. The Carl Junction boys basketball team hires a new head coach who has already had success in the 4 states. Brock Baldridge has that story coming up. The Carl Junction boys basketball program hired Court Hardy as their new head coach last March. KOM sports reporter Brock Baldridge has the story on the coach's new job.
Court Hardy spent the past 2 seasons as the head coach of the Seneca boys basketball team, which includes winning back-to-back district championships. His success led him to a new challenge, and now he's looking to set his mark as the new head coach of the Carl Junction boys basketball program.
Being at Seneca, we took over, from Will King, a legendary coach there, and they didn't have a ton of success in his late years, and we kind of had 2 good years back-to-back there at Seneca. So we kind of want to transition and do the same thing at Carl. They have a lot of young talent and a good coaching staff, and so we want to build our foundation and build our culture and just continue the winning ways there.
Not only is this a change for Coach Hardy, but the Carl Junction athletic program itself is going through a change of conferences.
That's a great basketball conference. It's going to be a good conference in all the sports. And so you always want to play in a good conference. It's good competition. It's going to prepare you for the districts and the playoffs. And so, we're excited to join that conference and ready to compete and get some good teams.
Hardy, who's originally from Diamond, Missouri, is a former assistant coach with CJ's rival Webb City, and he says he looks forward to those future matchups.
Obviously, I was at Webb for 6 or 7 years, and so I've always thought CJ was a good program, a program that I think could be something special. And so, like I said, the rivalry's there. Us being in different conferences now. We're not playing each other in the regular season, but you could see each other in tournaments. It's still love over there for those guys and Coach Horn, and they have a great staff and great team. So we're trying to get to their level and challenge them.
But Coach Hardy has a message for what the fans and the players can expect from this new era.
I think you can expect a disciplined team, a team that's going to be disciplined in their ways, and a team that plays really hard and a team that plays really fast. And I think you're going to see the passion that we have for the game of basketball, and we're eager to share that with the community. And not only at the high school level, but we want to get our youth teams involved, and all the way from your lower ages all the way up to the junior high and high school. And so I think you'll see it's very involved and show our passion for Carl Junction basketball.
It's been just over a decade since the Carl Junction boys basketball team finished the season with a winning record. Coach Hardy begins his new job later this fall. That's your look for sports. We'll be back with more coming up. Partly cloudy skies aren't the only thing you'd see over Pittsburgh today. The 2nd annual Kite Festival was held today. Not only could community members go and see some of the bigger kites, but it also allowed for a cultural exchange.
This is our Indian culture. Like we used to welcome the spring with the Kite Festival. So I want to share the culture with the American people because we have lots of Indian also. So we are celebrating together and make a one community.
Every attendee was provided with a free kite. I'm a little jealous.
I know, I
would like
wish I would have known. I would
Yeah.
have gone out there. That looks like a lot of fun.
Well, it was a little warm to be flying a kite today, though.
It was, and humid.
Yeah.
Temperatures are going to continue to climb for the next couple of days. Our hottest part of the weekend is actually going to be on Monday, getting up to about 94 degrees, humidity values above 40%. Really makes those heat index values into the upper 90s, even triple digits. Luckily, we've got a chance to cool off by midweek, though.
The only thing that I like seeing triple digits on is my golf score.
I don't know golf.
No, I don't like seeing that. Anyway, that's our time for now. From all of us here at KOAM, have a great night.